Hello, everyone. Daily West Ham news with your beloved Chaz at the West Ham Irons channel. Hope everyone is doing good. Trying to sort the bloody screen out as usual. So yeah, let's get into it straight away. It's obviously match day, 5:45 p.m. Europa group stage game. Olympiacos of Greece, home to West Ham United. We're top of the league, 100% record. Olympiacos are top of the table in Greece, one of the top teams there, alongside you're probably familiar with AEK Athens, Panathinaikos. I think at the weekend it was meant to be Olympiacos against Panathinaikos, and due to some crowd violence that got kind of delayed, suspended, stopped. Reports coming this morning are that there's been I think the journalists arrived yesterday and a few things happened. They had some things thrown at them and all sorts. I mean, if they're doing that to journalists, you can imagine there definitely will be an attempt at some trouble today by the Olympiacos fans, that's for sure. And as I said yesterday, we've got to be really well behaved and try our best not to get wound up and retaliate, I think, because UEFA just need an excuse, just need a very, very small excuse. And it could be some repercussions for West Ham and even David Moyes. I mean, rarely would a manager ever mention anything in his press conference with Mavropanos, but even Moyes had to say, please behave, please respect the name of the club, because they're expecting trouble tonight and more from the home fans and trying to wind out West Ham fans. So again, if you're travelling out there, have a great trip. Hope you enjoy it. I haven't been to mainland Greece like Athens, but been to many of the islands, Zante and all those islands. A really, really nice place. Roads, really, really nice people, good food. So have a good time, and hopefully everyone gets back safely, really. One or two in the chat rightly pointed out that I haven't spoken much about Souček or Cornet. Cornet, one of the most exciting signings for me when we signed him. He had a great season at Burnley, lots of assists, lots of goals, largely played one of the two up front or one of the three behind like us. Even helped out in his career in France as a kind of a fullback. I don't know what's gone on with him. Even when he came in, again, he wasn't used for ages, if you remember. Again, another player who joins you with good form, excited. Moyes didn't touch him for ages. Long time. Then he was played. Then you remember the Chelsea away game where he nearly bagged two. Got the equaliser nearly unfairly ruled off and things like that. I don't know what's happened. I know he's had a really unique injury. They're managing it, but even when he plays, he just doesn't seem motivated. He played in that Carabao Cup game, and because that game wasn't live and I didn't go, I didn't see the footage, but I've been told that he had a very average game. And so it looks like Benrahma, similar positions, similar motivational issues, similar consistency issues. These are all half decent good players, attacking players. Again, that's another one. It's just not happening for him. I'm pretty certain there's a player in there that we need. He can make things happen. He linked up with Skamaka really well last year in some of the Europa games. He's not even on the bench. He's just gone missing. It's another one that the chairman will look at and say, listen, we put some good money there. Got nothing in return. So I think there's a player there. I've got a lot of time for him. I don't know what's going on. You've got to motivate him. But there you go. Souček. The thing with Souček against Villa was that he went under the radar. He didn't do anything, so he didn't come to my mind. It was that bad. I was focused on Antonio and one or two other things. So that's why I forgot about Souček. But that's what it's about. Interaction in the chat. Put your views in. Put Jazz right when he's wrong. And along those lines, there was another guy yesterday. Again, thank you for your comments. It's quite long comments. Saying I'm a bit harsh on Antonio, that it's more about David Moyes, it's more about the setup. It's not right for Antonio, one or two other players. Saying Paqueta's on the left wing, he's not really doing enough to help the fullbacks. Really, really good, valid points, mate. But I largely think that once you're on the pitch, right, it's a lot to do with the players than the manager, largely. Another thing is when I look at Antonio, you pass to Antonio and he can't trap it, that's not David Moyes' fault. If you can't control it, your touch is bad, you clean through, you completely bodge it up time and time again, that's not David Moyes' fault more often than not, right? There is a bit in there where I understand, it's not his position, and I do say that on my shows that Moyes has really, really dug him in for a long time, and he was even vocal last year saying, I need help. I get that. So I would say that I have a go at Antonio. I do have a go at Moyes as well, right? Having said that, when he came in, I backed Moyes more than any other channel. Got myself into trouble a lot, mate. But good, valid points. But I'm not completely saying Moyes is out of the blameless. He's not. It's a bit of both. But if Antonio is our striker, I gotta mention it the way I see it. He's not performing the role. I gotta have a go at him. But I do understand. But there are some simple things in life where if you are put through with a good chance and you completely bodge it up, it's not really Moyes' fault. Paqueta, he's got license to go everywhere and that can get him into trouble. He loses ball in the wrong places, I get that. Same time, he tries to do a bit of skill to entertain you. There's a fine balance. So I get all that, but there is a lot of issues. We do need a few more players in the team due to some windows. We haven't signed anyone. We do need more than one formation. And because of that, and because of the playing style, Moyes would rather play someone who runs around as physical rather than a pure classy attacking guy like Maddison. I don't think David Moyes would touch Maddison with a barge pole, because Maddison is the traditional, skillful, non-physical, play on the cuff, on the turn. He's a Harry Redknapp type of player, a Bilic type of player, which we all love. Moyes won't touch those type of players. Why has it worked for Bowen? He's more physical, running, run, go back, help out, tackle, and he's got 35% attacking to him. So that's why Moyes loves him. Benrahma, nowhere near physical as Bowen, nor is Cornet. Paquetá kind of has. So that's why it's just always going to happen. It's a DNA of a manager like Sam. We used to tell Sam, play entertaining football. He never understood it. I don't think Moyes understands it either. Old habits die hard. Very few managers change. That's why next manager we need someone who's kind of more stylish. It's in his DNA, and he just gets on with it, really. So you're right. I'm a little bit right, but thank you for your views and keep them coming. Keep them coming. Press conference, as I said. David Moyes and Mavropanos. Mavropanos has hardly played any Premiership games. Let me know in the chat what you think. It's getting close to where he might get a start ahead of Agard, or perhaps in a system where in time we can play 3 centre-backs and then buy 2 new wing-backs. That will work quite well sometimes when you're playing away from home in a really tough environment. We'll see how that goes. Mourinho, I've got to do a show on him. I mean, Mourinho's contract's up end of the year at Roma. There's rumours that he's not going to extend that beyond that. We'll kind of be linked with him on and off. We'll see how that develops during the summer and the season, but I'll spend some time on doing a show on him and sort of see what I think about him coming in or not, and would it work or would it not. His kind of, attributes and strengths and weaknesses, really. Sheikh Jassim, billionaire Qatari who narrowly failed to kind of get the purchase of Manchester United over the line. He's buying up property around Stratford, which is prompting rumours that he's looking at West Ham. Claret and Hugh and Sean Whetstone, very good West Ham sources, kind of deny that, saying you can't put two together. He generally buys property all over London, and if that's Stratford, it doesn't mean he's thinking of the Olympic Stadium or West Ham after that. I personally think Spurs will be the next better target for people of that stature, that money, rather than West Ham. I think Spurs have got a fabulous stadium, got a fabulous amount of income, great match day income revenue model. They're only paying historically low interest rates for that, how much it cost them. They're not repaying the capital, they're just flipping it 20-30 years ahead into the future. On the back of that, you're paying minimum interest. You got a stadium like that, you got all that match day income that's 100% yours. Any American football event, any boxing event, any non-big football event, even you've seen the World Cup and the Euros that we've been linked with hosting. Tottenham is one of the stadiums that's been chosen. Our stadium nowhere near, not even Highbury, not even Old Trafford, I've been told. It's up there as one of the best stadiums in this country. I get it, their capacity is similar to ours, similar to Highbury, Old Trafford, Anfield, but in terms of facilities, the quality, I'm told the food there is unbelievable. Everything's just great. And I think the Sheikh, someone like that, of that stature, I think Spurs will be the next one, because I think from the owner's point of view, that there's kind of an ambition to sell now. I think there's a want to sell, which always helps. Our seller's very stubborn in terms of greed, in terms of price. It's just a very hard person to. You saw Rice and Arsenal, which I kind of like what he did for us, but he just gives an example. He's a bit of a mini Daniel Levy when he's got something to sell, and then he'll buy it at the lowest price possible. So I think if someone like Sheikh Jassim goes for a club, it'll be Spurs ahead of us, really. I just think the infrastructure's there at Spurs, their training ground and everything's there. Got half decent team, half decent manager, and they can propel it even more, I think we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to buy the stadium, we've got to improve it. We've got no training ground, we've got no assets to borrow money on. That's why Kretinsky came in. Kretinsky's got no ambition to ever buy more stake than that or ever take total control. He's not interested. He lends money all over globally into different market sectors and companies in return for capital appreciation and interest. That's it. He just wants a good return on his money that he's lent Sullivan. Sullivan reached out to the market. He's got money. David Gold, rest in peace, had money, but they wanted the old school. They didn't want to dip into their pockets. They never have. They'd rather, as much as possible, just inject 20 million here and there, which is peanuts in this day and age, and get good interest back on it. That's the way they run. In the meantime, their assets gone up 600-700%. So I think he reached out to Kretinsky to inject some funds, of some of which you've probably seen in the last 2-3 windows, but he hasn't got any more ambition than that. And we'll see what happens in terms of acquisition of the club going forward. But at the moment, I think there's complications around David Gold's will. Inheritance going to the one remaining daughter, so until that's resolved, we can't do anything more with his shares. In the interim, I think his daughter has joined the board alongside Jacqueline's husband, so they're still thereabouts on the board, really. Agard, I wanted to come to Agard as well, because the same chat was mentioning that being a bit harsh on Agard, that I shouldn't compare him to Dupe. I'm comparing to Dupe because they both had the same issues. They can't mark anyone. They're out-and-out defenders. You cross the ball in, the player Agard's marking, he's nowhere near him. He's always on the wrong side, prompts fouls in the wrong place, prompts penalties, all that kind of thing. He might be a classy player, he might have potential, but I think you can't blame David Moyes. He's a centre-half, flat back four, and it's just not happening for him. So So that thing I don't agree with. Antonio I kind of get, because, he doesn't want to play this, playing with his mind, but listen... with Antonio, if there's a chance, you've got to put it away. That's not Moyes' fault. If someone passes the ball, you've got to hold on to it, you've got to control it. That's not Moyes' fault. Agard, if you're told to mark someone at the back and you're not doing your job, we see a goal go in, we see the replay, and we see Agard's nowhere near that player. Agard has just been done on the turn, or the guy was in the right place, faster thinking. So Agard's, I'll stick to my guns. Agard's, concerning for me, really. That's it from me. I'm going to do a show straight after the Olympiacos game. About 7:45. So join me for that. It'll be high adrenaline. Hope you guys all join me in the chat. And we'll see how that goes. But like I said, 100% record in the group. Nice start. I can see all three things happening in this game. We could lose, we could draw, we could win. I know I was sitting on the fence, but I can see all three. It's a very hostile environment. They're strong at home, even though they haven't done so well in Europa. But you never know. They could nick it. But good thing under David Moyes is, again, we're always organised, disciplined, tough to beat, full of running, full of stamina. And when teams try to come on to us, that's when we're at our best and we hit them on the counter. We're kind of weak when there's more creativity needed from our side, isn't it? So we suffer from that when we're slightly better than the opposition. But I can see all three happening. It might be a tight draw. We might be very professional in Europe, going to 18 games unbeaten, or they might get a dodgy penalty, and anything can happen. So we'll see. We'll enjoy it, but we're top of the league. We've got a bit of a cushion. I can probably see us winning that group, hopefully, even though if things don't go our way tonight, really. So anyway, let me get on with your day, and I'll catch up with you later this evening. Take care. Come on, you iron.